Hey YouTube, Skipper T here. Well, the sun is shining for the first time in a month. And as you guys know, I built my Barbie forge here a while back. I did acquire a nice anvil. And I picked up a couple pieces of rebar so that we can experiment with our forge here. A friend of mine is a blacksmith, metal worker by trade. So he loaned me a pair of tongs so that I could get started with it and we could do today's activity with. I've got half a 5-gallon bucket of coal here, and I've got a pail full of water in which we can quench this when we get to the end. That way we don't have lots of hot metal laying about. Right now though, I've got the coal sitting in the forge. I've got a piece of paper underneath of it. Hopefully that'll be enough to get things started. It's the way I've seen guys start them online. Did pick up a cheap hair dryer at the dollar store, got it plugged in and ready to roll. So I think now we'll go ahead and zoom in on this and we'll see if we can get our coal started and get a fire going here. And then we'll see if we can't take one of these pieces of rebar, heat up one end of it, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to make initially, it's called a holdfast. And it fits down, the rebar then fits down inside of the hole in your anvil here for different pieces. Then it's going to have a bit of a curve to it and a flat spot. Then what you can do is you can push it down in here, the tension from it catching in the sides over here, then you can tap it down with your hammer, and then what it'll do is hold a piece of metal or whatever you're working on the top of the anvil, and it'll hold it steady for you. This hold all will also be, it'll come in very handy for some other aspects and some other projects that I've got coming up this summer that I'll show you. But basically then what we're going to do is just heat the end of this up, and we're going to pound it out flat. Then we're going to heat it back here. We're going to bend it around that piece of metal so that it makes an arch on this, and you'll see as we go along what I'm talking about. We'll have to adjust the angle of the flat spot here so that it holds down and holds flat when it's down inside the hardy hole here on your anvil. And then hopefully from there, you know, this will be just a very simple, very, hopefully it won't take too long, but very first attempt to heat something up and do some blacksmithing. So this is my very first attempt at this. I'm sure I'm going to learn lots of stuff. I'll probably screw a lot of things up. But you know, you got to start somewhere, and today this is where we start. Stay with me and we'll get things fired up. Alright kids, I've tried several different pieces of paper. Everything's extremely moist. Maybe I don't have the technique down yet. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that. I just threw what was left of a piece of paper on top. What I resorted to was a couple of charcoal briquettes and some lighter fluid, and I'll see if I can't get the coal started, or at least a little bit of a burn going that way. Then when I engage the hair dryer, hopefully it won't just snuff the fire out. I'll have enough of a coal going to where then I can, you know, scoop some of the other actual coal itself up on top and hopefully get a nice hot fire for blacksmithing. Anyway, just wanted to give you an update. We'll be back. Alright guys, you can hear the hair dryers on. I resorted to a couple of charcoal briquettes, a little bit of lighter fluid, and I think at present I'm starting to get a pretty decent, pretty hot little fire going, as you can see. Okay, I've taken the hair dryer off. And it looks like we've got just a pretty good fire going here. Obviously we're going to have to let that build up and heat up a little bit more. And once it becomes a little more engaged, then I'll put some more heat to it and we'll start heating up our first piece of metal. Okay guys, we've got a little cave going on here. I think that's probably going to be able to heat this up. You can tell it's already starting to get warm, and I just stuck it in 30 seconds ago or so. So I think what we'll do now is fire this up, and once we do that, we'll get it good and hot As soon as it turns red, we'll pull it out and we'll see if we can't start shaping a round piece of metal into a flat piece of metal. Stay with me. Holy cow, kids, we got us a hot fire going, let me tell you. Man alive. It's like the end of our piece of rebar is heating up nicely. And really, I only want to flatten like the last maybe half an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So I think we might be about ready to see if this will work. Okay guys, got that nice and red hot again. As you can see. So like I said, I think I'll try the bigger hammer this time. Oh yeah. Right now, all I'm trying to do is make that a little bit wider. A little bit flatter because I'll need it to hold things down. Boy, and as you can tell, that cools off, and I mean right now. You can hear the sound difference when it's not hot and molten. So we'll put it back in, but as you can see, it's starting to flatten that out. I'm kind of excited actually. So we'll set this here. We'll get ready for the next round. Okay guys, this time we did not turn the fan on, and it's not quite as hot. And I'm going to see if we can flatten that out just a touch more. Maybe now we can shape it a little bit. Kind of make it tong-sized, if you will. That's got a nice little grip stop on it. Now what we're going to have to do is heat it back up and then bend it around because I need that to be at an angle. So, wow, coal smoke, fun. I think ultimately we're getting there. It's looking pretty good. Surprisingly enough, I've taken a round piece of metal and made it flat. It's the little things in life that count. Now I'm going to have to fire it up because I really want to get that portion right in front of the flat spot nice and red hot so that I can bend it around and this thing will start to take shape. Okay, lesson number 1. You can overcook your metal. As you can tell, the tip of my metal has fallen off. So basically, I'm just going to have to take some of this slag off of here and the impurities in this. Kind of get rid of it and kind of start over a little. That was interesting. Okay guys, I'm heating it back up, and I think that this time I'm probably going to go into the hardy hole and see if I can't bend that over, or maybe wrap it around this part here. It is not taking a whole lot for that to happen. Okay. Actually, that's working out pretty nicely. Alright. This part to flatten out a little bit. Okay. Might have to open that up just a touch. Not quite a 90-degree angle. Make that fairly flat without burning ourselves. Man, that was hot. Okay. Now what we're going to do is bend this part and this part down and around. So I'm going to have to heat this center part up in here to make a 90-degree bend about right here, and then arch this a little bit. Hey, it's a heck of a lot hotter than it was. Okay, my curve's going in the wrong direction, so I'll have to get that center section hot enough to reshape that curve. Stay with me. Alright, kids. Now that is smoking hot, and this is going in the wrong direction, so let's see. To actually hang on to it, probably. Whew, that's hot. Okay. Let's see. Now, we'll heat that back up a little. Now we'll see if we can get the bend going the way we want. Okay guys, now we're going to see if we can take this hot piece of metal here, bring this over. What I think I'm going to do is put it in here down to about, this level, and I'm going to make this lie flat. Okay. That should probably work. Maybe a touch more of an angle there. That should work. I don't know that I got enough there. But we're going to find out. Dress this up a little. We'll quench it. Then, what we'll do is we'll see if it'll hold something secure. Wow, don't think those aren't hot from holding the metal. Should be about cool enough to touch. Slide her down. Put a piece of metal under it. Ha! My rebar's too long. Damn. Okay. Simple enough. I didn't make my turn in this part down far enough on the piece of rebar down here. So my only other alternative is to make this shorter. But I don't think I really want to do that. Although an inch would do it. Inch and a half would do it. That I may cut on a saw just to expedite, since I don't have a metal. Ah, hell. We're a blacksmith now. Let's see what happens, kids. Okay, guys. Let's see. Maybe we can lop a little bit of that off. It's supposed to be the spot where you rust off stuff. Chopping part. Maybe if we set it like that, utilize this. Hot mofiki. Alright. I think what we'll do is heat that back up. Put a little flat spot on this side. And then see if we can't bust that off, make it a little shorter so it'll work. Stay with me while this heats up. Slightly. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, kids, it's in the spot. Looks like it may do what it was designed to do. Yeah. Cool that off for a minute, because that's hotter than blazes, and I'm sweating like a pig. So we'll use this piece of railroad spike here to demonstrate what this hold all is supposed to do. So I put it in my hardy hole. I get it all lined up underneath there. And then I would tap that down with my hammer and tap it a couple of times to make it tight. One down there. Now, you've got something that should hold whatever it is that you're working on. Not perfect. I may have to adjust it a little bit. There we go. Now she's tight. You may have to run that end down just a touch, just to see. But that's what they call a hold-all, I believe is what it's termed. But now, like as I was doing with this piece of rebar, and I wanted to imagine these in reversed order, but now I'd be able to stand on top of that and pound away with it without this sliding all over the anvil. So, super simple thing to do. I would put more of an arch on it here. I may at some point, attempt to do that. Might have made it right back a little bit closer, but that's okay. And it's the angle, and I think it actually needs to be a little bit taller. But hopefully in doing more of an angle right through here, I'll get it tall enough, I'll be able to bend that back out so it sits flat. Then when you hammer down on this, it draws up tight in here, and then really just to release it, all you got to do is just come at it with your hammer on one side or the other, maybe, and rest it free. That's another reason why I think you want this angle to be a little bit higher, or a little bit tighter rather. If you can see this, I would put more down in this area and a bit more of a curve out through probably here, instead of coming here, which start to come down out here. But that's what I've seen some folks do on YouTube. Got my Barbie grill, got an anvil, have a hammer, we'll travel. But anyway, that's my first project for blacksmithing. It's going to be a long road. Hopefully, guys, I'll be better at this, shoot shorter videos. But appreciate your watching. Keep your eyes open, your heads up, and get outside. We'll see you outside. Thanks. Have a great day.